AI art prints are an amazing digital product to sell online that can earn big. Not only are these types of wall art prints hugely in demand, they can be created without a lot of previous design knowledge or experience with the help of AI tools. As I was researching, I found that most of these AI art prints were portraits of either pets, family, or houses in a watercolor, oil painting, or sketch style. A lot of them also had the option to add a custom name, date, or phrase. But the biggest thing I noticed was how profitable several of these listings are. For instance, I saw this listing of a watercolor oil painting style print of a dog that made 152 sales last month. It's priced at $63.62, so if you do the math, that's over $9,600 that this one listing alone brought in last month. Not to mention that price point is the lowest option on this listing, with several higher priced upgrade options available, so it's likely that monthly total was even higher, assuming that some of those customers would have chosen the upgrade. I also found this listing of a similar style portrait of a girl and her grandpa with a cute custom phrase. It sold 112 times last month, and with the price point of $40.20, that equals out to a monthly revenue of $4,527. And here's an Our First Home version of this type of product featuring a house. It's priced at $19.95, and with 287 sales last month, it's bringing in a monthly revenue over $5,700. All of these styles of art prints can be made with AI and are products that you could get started selling today to make money online. So in this video, I'm sharing all about how you can create these all art prints using my favorite AI tools and the exact steps you'll need to take to get them listed and making sales fast. Now, the first thing I want to make sure to clarify is that you can sell these types of prints either as a physical product or a digital product. Digital is just what it sounds like. There's nothing physical or tangible involved. This is where you're going to be creating the design and delivering it to your customer as a digital file so that they can then take that digital file and use it however they want or print it out themselves. But you can also have the option for physical art prints, which means that you would be actually delivering a physical product to your buyer, whether that's a framed poster or a canvas. You could take that design and put it on a lot of different types of physical products. Either way, you'll need to know how to create these types of designs in various different sizes so that you can have a listing that offers that and will be more appealing to a wider customer base. One customer who might be looking for something smaller and another customer who might want a huge print to take up a huge wall. So if you're like, Kate, I have no clue where to even start with all of this, how to create products, how to create different size files, then I've got you covered. I've got a free digital product starter guide linked in the description box below. It's a guide that I've put together for you in case you're interested in selling digital products, so you can have all the need to know info right from the beginning. It covers what different types of digital products there are, different file types. It gives you an entire sizing and aspect ratio chart so you know exactly what size to create your products in, and more. So definitely grab that guide to get a shortcut in starting and growing your profitable digital products business. Now, if you're wanting to go the physical products route, that's a great way you can go too. And what I would recommend for this is to use print on demand. When you sell print on demand, you're partnering with a POD provider who fills and ships the order straight to your customer for you so that you're not having to actually store any inventory or physically fill or ship any orders yourself. You just create the design and set up the listing in your shop, and then your POD provider does the rest. One of our favorite print on demand providers and one we highly recommend is Gelato. With Gelato, you can sell products on Etsy or Shopify and sync your shop in just a few clicks. Then you can choose which products you want to offer in your shop. They've got tons of different options, but specifically for wall art, which is what we're talking about today, you can choose between products like wooden or metal framed posters, framed canvases, posters with hangers, and more. You can choose what options you want to give your customer, like frame type, color, and orientation, and even use their personalization studio to allow your customer to add their own customization. So for something like a watercolor pet portrait, you could add a text box and allow your customer to directly input their own custom pet name. So many amazing and fun options when setting up your products and listings. I love Gelato because they have a huge global network with over 140 print providers in 32 countries, which ensures faster local shipping and reduced shipping costs. 90% of orders arrive within 5 business days, which is honestly impressive. They also offer competitive pricing for their products and partner with the world's leading brands to ensure product quality, especially for items like apparel, calendars, cards, photo books, and wall art. And Gelato has top-notch customer service, not just because it's available 24/7, but also because of their direct handling of refunds and issue resolution. Gelato is just such a trusted, solid company, and I'm so happy that I get to partner with them as the sponsor of this portion of today's video. If you think you might like to try selling print on demand, you can start with Gelato for free and get 50% off your first orders that are ordered within 2 days of signing up using my link below. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the steps that you'll need to take to get started today. So step number 1 is to choose your selling platform. This is where you're gonna actually set up shop and have your e-commerce store where people can purchase your listing. Whether you're selling digital or physical products, there are several different options here, but my top 2 recommendations would be either Etsy or Shopify. Now, these are very different because Etsy is a marketplace, which means that it has its own search engine, its own algorithm, and it only displays results to shoppers from Etsy shops. When you set up your store with Shopify, you're setting up your own e-commerce website that you own, and you would likely be found through something like a Google search or on social media. If you're brand new to this, then I'd recommend Etsy because of the built-in audience of millions and millions of shoppers that go to Etsy, are loyal to the Etsy platform, and who may not know about your business yet, but they go to Etsy to purchase everything they're looking for. So you have a little bit of an advantage with that built-in traffic. But if you already have a little bit of your own audience already built up, then Shopify might be a great fit because you may not need as much help to get momentum and traction going. You've got an audience that you can promote to, and Shopify does offer more customization. You can make it look a little bit more unique and what you want it to look like. Both are great options, so it just really depends where you're starting and what you're prioritizing. You can sell both physical and digital products with both of these options, and both of them directly sync with Gelato if you're using that as your print-on-demand provider. So once you've chosen what platform you want to sell on, it's time to move on to step number 2, which is to create the actual listings. Now, this listing creation process will look different depending on what platform you've chosen to set up shop on, but in general, you're going to have some things that are pretty much the same and very important parts to pay attention to. Number 1 is you want to have an area where you can provide your potential customer with instructions for what they need to do after purchase. The biggest piece of the puzzle specifically for this type of product is that your customer needs to send you an actual image to base the portrait off of. So depending on what platform you've set up shop on, you'll either have an area that you can tell your customer to upload a photo directly to the listing, or more likely, you'll just have instructions that tell them how to submit the photo to you via email or message after they've purchased. You'll also need to make sure your listing is optimized for SEO. This is search engine optimization, and this is where we're going to be plugging in highly searched keyword phrases so that your listing has the best possible chance of being ranked high in the search results, whether that's in Etsy search or Google search, to be found by the people who are looking for this type of product. There are lots of different research tools out there that you can use to do this type of SEO research and identify these different really highly searched keyword phrases, but one of my favorite tools to use is Sales Samurai. So with Sales Samurai, you can come to their search tool and type in a keyword you're thinking of that describes your product. So for this, I might say pet portrait, and here it'll give me all the data I need to know to figure out if that phrase is highly searched and would be great to plug into my listing, or maybe not so great and give me ideas for other ones. So I can see here the estimated amount of times that phrase pet portrait is searched on Etsy per month is over 64,000. So that's a pretty solid search volume. It'll also tell me the click-through rate, the Google search volume, and give me a list of Etsy's most trending and Google's most trending related keyword phrases that are similar to what I typed in. What I like to do is click where it says search volume here to have the highest search volume at the top, and then look through these to see if any of these spark some inspiration, because if they're close enough and they accurately describe my listing, they could be phrases that I could use in my titles and my tags and my description to help the algorithm correctly identify my listing and show it to the right shoppers. This can also inform product decisions, so it can give me ideas of things maybe I never even thought of before that could be pretty popular on these platforms. But for instance, I can see here one of these top trending keyword phrases for Etsy is pet portrait from photo. So instead of just putting pet portrait in the title, I might want to include this entire phrase because this one is actually searched more than just the phrase pet portrait itself, and it has lower competition. It accurately describes my listing because I am generating a portrait from a photo that the buyer would give me. So this looks like a really great phrase that I could use again in my title and my tags and description for SEO purposes. If I scroll down, I can even see a list of tags that other sellers who are selling this type of product are using in their tag section. Things like custom pet portrait, dog portrait, pet memorial, personalized gift, dog mom. So again, just a really great place to give me some inspiration and ideas for keywords that I could plug into my listing. Sales Samurai has so many different amazing tools for Etsy sellers. And if you'd like to try it out, I've got a free 3-day trial linked in the description box below. And you can also input the code KATE20. That'll give you 20% off your subscription if you decide to keep using it beyond the free trial. Big thank you to Sales Samurai for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And the third really important part of a listing, of course, is the image section. Your images or photos that you use to display your listing and give your buyer an idea of what it actually looks like is what can either make or break the sale. You'll want to go ahead and create some example photos and example portraits that you can put up in your image section to showcase your product in as many different ways as you can, knowing that your listing is more likely to convert at a higher rate when you're showing your customer lots of different options, lots of different examples, and even giving information possibly in infographics. So you'll want to go ahead from the very beginning as you're creating your listing and design some of these examples to use as your listing images. Which leads us to step number 3, which is actually generating the portrait using AI. So whether it's to create these initial examples for your listing images or whether it's to actually fill an order, you'll need to have a photo that you're using as your source photo to base your portrait on. Then you'll want to choose your AI tool that you're going to use to generate the portrait image. Out of all the ones that I've tried, I highly recommend using ChatGPT for this because I found that it does the best job giving the closest picture to what the actual source image was. So to do this, you will need to have ChatGPT Plus, which is the upgraded version of ChatGPT. But once you have ChatGPT Plus, you'll be able to go on and click this little plus sign to add a photo or a file. And this is where you're going to choose your source image that you want the portrait to be based on. I have a picture of my cute dog here that I'm going to use. So that has uploaded the picture here. And now I can add a prompt. So I'm going to say something like, generate a watercolor style portrait of this dog based on the original image here. Don't include a background, but only the dog appearing as if it's a portrait painted with pastel watercolors. Of course, you can change up the way you word this depending on what exact style you want this to come out. You could change watercolor to an oil painting style or a hand-drawn sketch style, and you could either include the background or not. I'm just choosing not to include it so I can have it focused on the pet. Now I'm going to submit that, and here is the image it generated for me. I think it did such a great job compared to the original image. It looks just like it, and it followed my directions about leaving the background out. So of course, if you weren't happy with how this came out, you could continue refining this and giving ChatGPT further prompts to clarify the style that you wanted in. But if you like this, you can click share and choose to download the image, which you'll use in the next step. Now, once you've generated your main image, then you're going to move on to step number 4, which is to bring it into Canva and finish editing. So when you come into Canva, you're going to click on create to start your project. You'll need to know what size you want the design to be. And again, if you're not sure on sizing, definitely grab that free digital product starter guide linked below. That'll give you all the common sizes that you might need for this type of product. For now, I'm going to come to custom size and choose an 8x10. And once I'm in the editor, I can come over to the left where it says uploads and click to upload files. And this is where I'll find the image that I just downloaded from ChatGPT, and I'm going to open that in Canva. I can click to add it to my project, and inside this editor, I can continue resizing and editing this in any way I'd want to create my final file. Now, this image from ChatGPT does have a very slight beige background to it, so I don't want that background to be there. I'm going to select the image and choose the background remover. This is a Canva Pro option, so you can use this background remover if you have Canva Pro. Now, if you don't have Canva Pro yet, I've got a free 30-day trial linked in the description box below. But here you can see it's completely removed that slightly colored background. So now all I'm left with is the puppy with the transparent background. And I may want to resize this and then add something else, like possibly a custom name. If I want to add a space for a name, I can simply choose text, click to add a text box. I can change the font on it and edit this in any other way that I want to. And when I'm finished with this, I'm going to come up to the top right corner where it says share and click to download. There are several different file types that you can choose for this, but for wall art prints, I'd say the most common are either a JPG, a PNG, or a PDF. You could offer a bundle that provides all of these, again, making your listing more appealing to lots of different types of buyers. Now that you have the final file downloaded, you can either deliver that straight to your buyer as a digital product file, or if you're selling it as a physical product, you can use that file inside your POD provider's dashboard to either customize it further or offer for your buyer to customize it further. So there you go, friend. I hope that was helpful for you. Don't forget to click the link in the description box below to grab your free digital product starter guide. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. Happy selling.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.